Adastra is a sci-fi political adventure with cosmic horror elements and gay romance intended for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Previously on Adastra. I heard rumors that the Emperor's son was a tail raiser. But honestly, I wasn't expecting you to use this moment as an opportunity. Did you simply want to get your paws on me? In one smooth, fluid motion, Neferu spins into Amicus, thumping his back into the other canine's front, making the big wolf grunt and puff air into the top of Neferu's head with an oof sound. Neferu leans there against the wolf, holding onto his big paw while the other comes up to tease at Amicus's chin. Amicus looks surprised, but he doesn't do anything to push the jackal away. If you're interested, you only had to ask. I know that wolven ways of flirting are rather aggressive, and even though we jackals do things differently, I can adjust.
You know, Cassius was saying something earlier while I was serving him about a week ago. Did you know he has plans to get rid of the triumvirates? Alex's eyes widened for a moment.
Oh, really? I wonder why.
Something about it being easier to rule directly rather than through elected officials?
Well, that's some radical thinking, isn't it?
That's what Virginia said.
Alex's eyes suddenly widen as he looks over his shoulder.
I raise my eyebrows, then look back to see Neferu making his way toward us. Good day, Alex and Marco. How was your midday meal? It's okay. How are you? Splendid! I noticed then that he's carrying a bottle in his paw, the glass glinting in the sunlight with his every move. Oh, yes, I came to give you this. Neferu leans down and holds out the glass bottle, and now I see it's filled with a honey-colored liquid that sloshes lazily in the bottle. The Buna seed oil I promised. Much better for the fur than the Adastran oils they have for us. Alex reaches out and takes the bottle, blushing again.
Thank you, Neferu. I'll use it first thing tomorrow.
And I'll see you again tomorrow to make sure you do. The jackal winks, and I think I hear Alex make a strangled noise in his throat. How was your day, Marco? Okay. I try to look around the wolf's side at whatever he's hiding behind his back, but he turns accordingly to keep it obscured. What are you doing? Well? Amicus takes a deep breath, and I feel myself starting to get nervous. Then he goes down to one knee. Marco, over the past few weeks I've come to enjoy your company immensely. My mouth drops. And over the past few weeks, I've come to realize that we share so much in common in terms of our goals and desires.
Amicus gives me a coy smile at that.
What are you... So I decided that I should take the next step, to make you feel more welcome and to show you how much I appreciate your kindness and understanding.
The wolf suddenly swings his paws to his front, revealing what he'd been hiding. It's a bouquet of purple flowers, lavenders to be exact, along with several smaller white flowers sprinkled into the mix.
Marco, will you date me?
I stare at the wolf, still taking in the presentation he'd just given me. My mouth still hangs open, and I make a few sounds as I try to form a coherent sentence to respond in my mind.
I probably messed that up, huh? Well, hopefully the message came across clearly. What do you think? I'm stunned. And that's good? Amicus, what is this? I did something wrong, didn't I? Well, I mean, did you mean to do it? Did I mean to ask you out on a date? Well, yeah, did you? Yes? The wolf suddenly deflates, looking dejected. Did I pick up the incorrect meaning? I clear my throat, trying to gather my wits. What, do you think dating is? Well, what you told me. It's a relationship status that enables you to become closer, learn more about each other, along with normalizing physical intimacy. Well, usually people don't do it unless they love each other. My voice gets quieter and quieter over the course of the sentence, until Amicus has to poke his ears forward to hear me. Love? Yeah. Oh. Amicus stands there a moment before the insides of his ears turn bright red.
You said it was casual!
The wolf raises his voice, the sudden increase in volume making me jump. Well, it is. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be in love to date, but the intention is usually to find love.
Oh, dear gods! Was your intention just to humiliate me after the dance?
What the hell are you talking about? How was I supposed to know you were planning this?
I think me asking those questions had made it fairly obvious.
You assume way too much.
Clearly.
The wolf tosses the bouquet to the side, letting it land on the bench before it rolls off to the ground. Amicus slumps onto the bench next to me, his ears still red. Sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Besides, how are you supposed to know? It's an Earth thing. Amicus waves a paw.
It's fine. Like you said, I assume too much.
Listen, if we weren't having this whole... I lower my voice. Illegal space adventure, I might say yes.
What? Really?
I said might.
Oh. Really?
I think you're missing a key word there.
Well, maybe. I might as well.
Amicus and I stare in surprise as Cassius stares back at us, with what looks like even more surprise.
What the hell are you doing in here, Cassius?
Cassius collects himself quickly, despite Amicus's intimidating snarls.
Not much of your business, is it?
If you're in my room, then it is my business. What are you doing?
The wolf starts to advance on Cassius, stopping just feet away.
Move, Amicus. Otherwise, I'm calling Cato.
Snooping around to find something that might give you a chance in the trial? I can tell you now that you'll be coming up short.
Obviously. You've nothing to offer to help me win.
And you know, I shouldn't be worried after the pitiable display you and your pet put on.
He turns to me, and I can't help but frown at him.
As stupid as he is ugly.
I know that Cassius is just trying to get under Amicus's skin. He knows that he cares about me. But as Cassius reaches out to brush my chin with a paw, I can't stop myself from batting it away. Cassius's eyes widen then, and I see his paw draw back. I flinch, but immediately Amicus is there, reaching out to grab Cassius by his cape. The smaller wolf is pulled back from me, but Amicus doesn't stop there. As Cassius stumbles past Amicus, the bigger wolf swings his paw, smacking Cassius square in the nose. Cassius immediately goes down on his ass, at which point I hear another sound. Amicus and I stare down at the smaller wolf as he sits there, stunned. Then he suddenly scrambles up to his feet, a paw to his rear.
Amicus, you bastard! Tail-raising lover of ass!
I take a step back as Cassius practically sprays blood from his mouth. Amicus pulls me to his side, eyes narrowed, but I can feel his heart hammering against my shoulder.
I'll throw you both in the dungeon for that! I'll have him executed when I'm emperor!
I see tears start to spill out of Cassius's eyes before he turns and stumbles out of the room, his tail hanging limply to the side. A few minutes later, Amicus is flat on his stomach, looking under his bed as he mumbles something under his breath. I stand awkwardly off to the side, watching as he sweeps a paw underneath, as if feeling for something. What are you doing?
Looking for whatever Cass might have been doing.
You know what he was doing?
Well, I'm not sure, but a recording device possibly, or he was just snooping for information.
Can we just ask Calm?
No, his capabilities are very limited despite what his intelligence might suggest. He doesn't record our activities specifically so we can't spy on each other. Rules put in place millennia ago.
Why can't you lock the door or something? Amicus shrugs.
That's something only the Emperor can do. Again, rules that have been in place for a very long time.
That doesn't seem safe. Amicus continues to look concerned. What is it? Amicus lowers his voice.
Worry it might have something to do with you. After what he said as he was leaving, it's left me uneasy is all.
Oh, yeah. That thing about executing me. Do you think he was serious? Amicus is quiet for a moment.
No, but obviously I'm not going to assume he wasn't. I won't even give him a chance at the Emperorship now.
I frown. And you were going to before?
No, I'm just going to make extra sure now.
I'm quiet, deciding to sit on the bed instead. He wraps an arm around me. Don't worry about it at all. He has no chance, and besides, I wouldn't let him touch you.
How would you be able to do that if he's the Emperor, though?
Well, I'm also his older brother. Some relationships don't change, even if the official ones do.
A week later, Amicus and I sit in the gardens, enjoying the cool, fresh morning air. So, what's your main argument?
That Adastra has been on a steady rise politically and economically since the beginning of the Ad Astra policy era. Why take steps backwards when we're so clearly moving in the right direction?
And Cassius?
That Adastra's decline over the past few hundred years is due to that policy. Instead of looking outward to the children and other siblings, we should instead be looking inward to better ourselves.
Amicus scratches his nose.
Well, that's the basics anyway. Obviously, there is much, much more to it.
Amicus stretches.
Honestly, though, this talk is boring. This is my only day off before the trial next week. We should be doing something fun.
Why don't we just go to the island and have a picnic again?
Oh, yeah, great idea.
We eat in silence for a little while, Amicus gobbling up the majority of the food like always. I notice the wolf drinking more wine than he usually does, probably because it's his day off. Amicus, what's going to happen if you lose this next trial?
Again, don't worry.
I know you don't think it can happen, but if it does, what happens to me?
First of all, I won't have you worrying about Cassius's words. What he said was out of anger. And besides, I'll have measures in place to stop it from ever happening.
What measures?
I'm not fully sure of that yet, but I will have them in place by the time the next trial comes. Very good measures.
And aside from that, what do I do next?
Come, let's practice combat.
What? I said I didn't want to do that.
Well, since you're so worried about Cassius, I'll teach you a few tricks to take him down.
Yeah, and that won't make everything worse.
Well, after what happened a few days ago, I suppose it can't get much worse.
I slowly get to my feet, straightening out my robes. I'm not so sure about that. Besides, we just ate. Amicus laughs.
It's not like you're Cato. I think I'll be able to keep my food and drink down.
What about me?
I'm not going to hit you or anything. And about Cato, I could probably beat him in a fair fight. He just caught me by surprise that last time.
I pause, then raise an eyebrow. What do you mean?
I mean, he started fighting no holds barred without warning. I'd have given him the business if I'd known he were going to do that.
Hey, I don't think of you any less for losing a fight. To an old man. Amicus furrows his brow, the way he does when he's realizing that I'm teasing him.
I'm serious.
So am I. I mean, you almost had me that one time in the spaceship. You're a real force to be reckoned with.
It's not smart to tease a wolf before a fight, human.
I'm not teasing.
Mm-hmm. And kicking an unsuspecting man in the balls isn't exactly a win in my book.
It isn't mine.
Clearly. Speaking of which...
Amicus suddenly steps forward, thrusting his knee up at my crotch. I can only watch in horror as it comes up fast, stopping just an inch from my groin. We both stand there for a moment, before I gasp and stumble back, holding my nuts even though Amicus didn't make contact. Oh, what the hell?
If you don't want Cassius to hold broken bones against you, go for the genitals. That should be enough to stun him. This goes for anyone else who might try to attack you.
This is great and all, but I don't see how this is gonna help me. I wasn't even the one that broke his tail, and he wanted me killed.
Again, with me standing in his way, he won't ever get the chance to try anything, if he even intends to. This is only to give you a chance to get away from him. Besides, this is useful in any situation, not just for Cassius.
Amicus chokes on his last syllable as I ram my shoulder into him, grabbing at his legs to try and trip him up. Kind of like I saw Cato do to him in the amphitheater.
Hey!
Amicus chuckles, and I feel him let himself fall backwards to the sand. It reminds me of the last time we'd wrestled on the beach, except now I end up on top with my fall cushioned by his body, my face bouncing against his massive chest. Amicus grins at me.
Not bad, not bad. With a little more force, you might be able to knock down someone as small as Cassius.
Oh, please. I knocked you down fair and square. This time I'm the one to yelp on my last syllable.
Amicus easily reversing our positions as he rolls us both over. Although I try to keep my face in a scowl, I can't stop the smile from coming through, and pretty soon I'm laughing a little. I'm about to tell Amicus that this whole thing is hardly fair when he leans down fully, pressing his lips to mine in a kiss. I gasp in surprise, but it's through my nose as my mouth is sealed to his. I don't move, not hugging back, but not turning away either. The wolf's broad, cold nose twitches against mine before a hot huff of breath escapes it and washes over my face. At the same time, Amicus suddenly rolls off of me, our lips parting just as quickly as they'd connected as he flops to the side on his back, mirroring my spread eagle position. So...
Amicus responds instantly with an innocent, inquisitive grunt.
What was that?
That? Oh, the kiss?
Yeah.
Just thought I owed it to you after Mira. I botched it during the performance, after all.
Really? Like a child, Amicus looks away toward the lake, not saying anything. Talk to me.
What is there to say?
A lot. I'm kinda confused, honestly. A big huffing sigh, then...
I like you, Marco. Quite a bit, in fact.
I know, I like you too. Listen, we've already sort of talked about this. The problem is the situation we're in. It makes the whole dating thing impossible.
I know. But if we feel the same, why not be a little closer? I know you'll have to leave soon, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the time we have together.
Everything's just so messed up and complicated.
Yes, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have kissed you.
Maybe not. I swallow. But I liked it. Amicus snaps his eyes back up to look at me.
Really?
Yeah. The wolf lets out a huge sigh of relief.
Oh, you didn't kiss back, though. It worried me that I'd made a mistake once again.
I was surprised is all. And what do you mean, once again?
About 5 years ago, I shared my first kiss with another male. He kissed me on the balcony while a covert drone recorded the exchange. It was broadcast on the information channels the next day.
Why?
The Triumvir had a past grievance with my father. He used mine and his own son's sexual preferences to get back at him.
What happened then?
Well, Father used his power to shut down the networks along with banishing the Triumvir and his family to Anchorus. It was an unpopular decision, but Father felt it had to be done. Obviously, it's left me a bit worried about kissing and pursuing other men.
I squeeze his paw. Well, you don't have to worry about that with me, obviously. I don't know anyone here, and I'm trying to stay out of other people's business as much as possible.
I know.
Amicus squeezes back.
I'm still sorry, though. I should have asked, or not done it.
You're fine.
So, if you're fine with it, did you want to date me?
Amicus says the foreign word very carefully, and for a moment, the linguist skips a beat in its steady translation, allowing him to speak the word unfiltered. It's still his voice, but the heavy accent that comes through is surprising, even a little sexy. I know I should say no, though, the red flags fluttering ominously around our precarious, even dangerous situation. I'll think about it over the next few days, then let you know. Amicus smiles a little.
Okay.
But you need to be focusing on the trial, so no thinking about this while I'm deciding.
Of course.
I groan inwardly as I realize I've just added another distraction to the wolf's goal of becoming emperor. You promise this won't distract you?
Of course not. In fact, I think it would be rather positive for me to know that you return my feelings to some degree. It gives me even more confidence.
Oh god, no.
Hey.
Amicus sets a paw on my shoulder, and it looks like he wants to lean in and kiss me again. But he doesn't.
Thank you for understanding, and for putting up with me. I have a good feeling about, well, everything now.
I don't know how much I agree, considering our situation is causing us so many problems, but I set my hand on his paw anyway. Sure. Chapter 10: An Indecent Proposal. Our relationship after that conversation is strange, to say the least. While it felt meaningful at the time, I realized later that we didn't really get anywhere except once again admit to the feelings we'd been having over the past few weeks. Amicus is extra careful about touching me now, probably because he doesn't want me to misconstrue it for something more than it is. At the same time, our conversations have become less casual and joking, more stiff and awkward. I hate it. In any other situation, I'd want to just sit down and talk my feelings out with the person, but Amicus is different. First of all, he's an alien, and having the feelings that I do for an alien, a wolf alien at that, is weird. Secondly, this relationship, this closeness, it's just not important in the grand scheme of things. We're currently doing something so illegal that, if it were to be found out, it could bring the entire empire to a standstill. At least, more than it already is. So, instead of playing out one of the cheesy woven romance dramas I've seen on Adastran television, maybe instead I should be focusing on how the hell I'm going to exist in this empire, especially if the second trial falls through. But Amicus wants a relationship with me. That much he's made clear. I just wonder if it truly would help like he says it will. Or if he's just saying that, so I'll give him what he wants. I don't doubt that the wolf likes me. Maybe even more than that. But we've only known each other for about a month. Do we really even know anything about each other? Despite all of this, and after a few days of thinking about it, I start to warm up to the idea. We both know it'll be short, an innocent fling, like I'd thought of it earlier. I could be leaving for Earth any time in the next month, but I can't deny that I really like him too. An innocent fling. The more I say that in my head, the better it sounds. Despite everything, knowing that I could have a relationship with an alien, the son of an emperor, actually, someone who will likely become the emperor, that's kinda cool. Besides, he did say it would help him with his confidence for the trial. And finally, I'm tired of this awkwardness between us. Amicus is my friend, and I want to be able to talk normally with him again. I'm pretty sure making things official will clear everything up. I just have to go about doing it the right way. The day before the trial, Amicus shoos me and Alex out into the gardens. It's strange, but he tells us that they need to be tended to considering that the camera drones are going to sweep over the grounds for an opening shot before the second trial begins. It's the first time he's ever really asked me to do a task, and when I point that out to him, he says that he also needs time alone to practice his speech. That makes sense, but it's still a little odd. Alex and I stand in the gardens, picking at the weeds just like I had on my first day at the palace. It's hard to believe a month's gone by, even with the 19-hour days. I guess it's been about 3 weeks in Earth time? I get to work, pulling up the small white flowers, the ones that seem to grow in every crevice of the gardens. You'd think the drones would be smart enough to take care of the weeds themselves.
Well, they don't have appendages to pull with. All they could really do is use their high-powered lasers. But that risks starting fires.
The drones have lasers?
Oh yes, they need some form of a defense mechanism.
Huh.
I mean, it's not like they'd ever use it on you. Even if they did, it's not enough to kill you. At least not quickly. Just leaves nasty burns.
I find myself continuing to glance up at an Adastran spider, sitting motionlessly on the wall of the palace. Wish they'd use them on those hideous things. It takes Alex a moment to see what I'm looking at.
Oh, Marco, you know those are important to the
Ecosystem, yeah, I know. Doesn't make them any less disgusting. Imagine one of those things biting you.
Indeed. Though, honestly, I've been vaccinated so many times after coming to Adastra that sharp, pointy things don't scare me so much anymore.
We work quietly for a few minutes, Alex lazily humming as I try to think of a way to bring something up that I've wanted to talk about with the cat. So, I watch as Alex's paws work fast, plucking the weeds with speed and precision. What's your relationship with Cassius like? I see Alex's paws freeze for a moment, then quickly return to their work, the dirty pile of weeds next to him growing larger and larger on the marble floor.
Our relationship? You already know that, Marco. I'm his pet, just like you are Amicus's pet.
He smiles at me. At this point, I decide to stop letting the cat play his little game with me. I give him a look that says, "Oh, come on," and I see his ears fall a bit.
What?
You know exactly what. I think it's pretty obvious the two of you are, I don't know, something more. This is the first time I've called the cat out on his polite pet facade, and I see that it's thrown him off a bit. His ears are down, and he's staring hard at his paws, pushing through the weeds, though he's no longer plucking them.
That's such a forward question, Marco.
I wonder if his demeanor just has to do with his cat modesty, or if there are actual laws against pet-master relationships. Come on, we're friends. Besides, I want some advice. Now his ears perk up a little bit.
Oh? With what?
Well, first I want to know if, something's going on between you and Cassius. Then I'll know if you can answer. Alex sighs huffily and sits back on his rear, looking a bit childish with his legs and feet splayed out in front of himself.
I don't know why it matters.
Well, I don't know how things are on Amorpha, but where I'm from, friends talk about their relationships with each other. It's actually strange not to tell your friend about who you're in a relationship with. Though his ears are folded down, I can see how red they are.
We're not in an official relationship, but there are feelings between us, yes.
Really? Alex snaps his gaze to mine.
Why do you sound so surprised?
I'm not surprised, just fascinated. I'm not. You two are just really different.
How so?
I mean, do I have to explain it? Alex is quiet. Well, you're so reserved and quiet, and he's so... Now that I know that Alex actually likes Cassius, I don't want to be too offensive. Cassius. Alex sighs.
Yes, Cassius is very Cassius, but there's a lot more to him than what he puts out in public.
So, you like him?
Parts of him, yes.
Alex has lowered his voice to the point where I almost can't hear him, so I do the same. So, are you in, a relationship? I don't know what they're called on Adastra. Alex bristles.
Well, it is simply called a relationship. The only official status is marriage, but that's only between males and females.
What about between males?
There is none. Why are you so curious?
Alex looks at me carefully, eyes narrowed. I shrug. Just wondering. I like to learn about the culture I'm in.
I see. Are you interested in Amicus?
Now it's my turn to blush. No.
Marco, you can tell me. I thought we were friends.
I get the feeling that Alex is a lot better than me at these games. I don't know, honestly, but I guess I was wondering how I'd go about it if I decided to.
Aw, that's adorable.
All I can do in response is blush a deeper shade of red.
So, you're asking how to tell a wolf that you're interested.
Yeah.
Well, between males, it usually happens naturally, without saying so. If you haven't noticed, there's a stigma against same-sex relationships on Adastra. Leaving the status of a relationship unsaid makes it less likely that you'll be found out.
I think for a moment. Amicus seemed to want me to make the relationship official. I guess he's just going by my standards then. He probably wants me to ask him to date me. Earth style. Alex goes back to plucking some of the weeds.
However, I feel that things are changing, though very slowly. Honestly, someone like Amicus becoming emperor would be really something.
I'm about to ask Alex how prominent the rumors are about Amicus when I suddenly hear footsteps. I look up, half expecting to see the wolf, but instead, Cato simply stares at us, his paws behind his back as usual. A moment of silence goes by before Alex suddenly stumbles to his feet, paws clasped in front of himself before bowing low. I quickly follow suit, a few seconds behind the cat. As I bow, I notice how dirty my robe is at the knees. Alex remains bowed, so I do the same, listening as Cato's footsteps come closer. He stops a few feet away, and I can see his worn, blunt claws at the top of my vision. He stands there for a very long time, not saying anything, forcing me and Alex to remain stooped. As my back starts to ache, I realize that he must be doing this on purpose. Are we in trouble for something? Finally, he speaks, and I almost jump.
Alexios, Marco, how are you this afternoon?
Alex straightens up, and I do the same, stifling my groan of relief. If Alex is sore, he's not showing it at all as he fixes a smile on his face.
Wonderful, Your Imperial Majesty. I hope the same is for you.
I open my mouth, trying to think of something to say, though Alex didn't leave me much room to do so. That doesn't seem to matter, though, as Cato starts speaking, reminding me that I'm still supposed to be a near-mute primitive.
Sadly, no, Alexios. I was just in the city today, and I was hearing some unfortunate rumors amongst the officials.
Another long pause.
Oh?
The corner of Cato's mouth twitches, and while I usually have a hard time knowing what the old wolf is thinking, I can tell that right now he's not happy.
Indeed. Rumors about Cassius and his intentions involving the triumvirates if he becomes emperor.
It takes me a moment to know what they're talking about. Then I remember.
The triumvirates? I wonder why.
Alex puts on a very innocent, confused look, even though I know that he knows what this is about.
I wonder as well, which is why I'm curious to know if either of you have heard the rumor, or possibly the source of the rumor.
Immediately, I feel sweat starting to break out on my forehead, and I'm glad that I'm already sweating from the heat.
I'm sorry to say that I do not know, Your Imperial Majesty.
Another moment of silence goes by, and that's when I notice that Cato's waiting for me to answer. I choke on my words for a moment, adjusting my brain to dumb ape mode. What is triumvirates? Cato's mouth twitches again.
Anyway, I'm on my way to Cassius's room to let him know the news. Please accompany me, Alexios.
Yes, Emperor.
Alex quickly hops to attention as Cato turns with a twirl of his robes, heading back up the path as Alex quickly follows. I'm left to stand there alone for a moment, watching the two of them disappear amongst the bushes. So, someone had told some of the officials about Cassius's plans to eliminate the triumvirates. Despite Alex's innocent act, I assume it had to be him. Either that or it was Virginia. I wonder if Cato is already suspicious about Alex, and, if that's the case, if it could all come back to me. I hope not. The idea of playing politics amongst these passive-aggressive wolves is not at all appealing. I spend a few more hours weeding the gardens on my own, knowing that I won't be able to make much progress alone. After a while, I meander around the gardens a bit, wanting to go back inside, but not really wanting to bother Amicus while he studies. While I'm doing that, though, I think more and more about what Alex and I had been talking about. Should I just confess my feelings to Amicus and close the awkward gap between us? I know it's weighing on his mind. Maybe asking him out will give him that boost that he needs to win. Maybe I'm just trying to convince myself, but I realize that it is something that I want to do. And if I'm going to do it, it's probably best to do it before the trial, to set his mind at ease. Carefully, I pick a few flowers from the gardens, not making the giant bouquet that Amicus had made for his own proposal, but enough to look nice. At least, in my opinion. As I walk to the wolf's room, I have enough time to second-guess myself. Maybe this isn't such a good idea. My heart is hammering in my chest as I approach the wolf's door, and I'm sure my face is bright red. I try to keep my breathing under control as I stand in front of the door. What should I say? Maybe just imitate what the wolf did back when he asked me out? Yeah, that'll be funny and cute, right? As I start to feel myself getting cold feet, I just reach up to the panel, pressing it, deciding to just throw myself into this.
Oh, Amicus, you're amazing!
The scene I come upon is probably the last one I would have ever expected. At first, I think the two of them are fighting. Nefero and Amicus obviously have some kind of tension going on between them, so seeing the jackal splayed out on the bed while Amicus growled and snarled above him, pinning him down, well, a fight is all that would come to my mind. But after a few more seconds of staring open-mouthed at the scene in front of me, I slowly realize what's actually happening. While Amicus might be snarling, Nefero is letting out grunts and groans that are clearly full of pleasure. His face and body say it all too. The jackal writhing and twisting under the wolf, pawing at him as he says words that don't translate through the lingua.
Ah, entomalamo! Quiet!
If that isn't enough to tell me exactly what's going on, then the jackal's slick pink cock bouncing against his tightened abs is.
I guess the sounds they're making covered up the sound of the door opening, because neither of them look up.
Instead, they both continue to go at it, while I stare in shock. Part of me doesn't want to make any sudden movements, so as not to attract their attention, while the other part of me just stares in fascination, never having seen anything like this before. A few times, Nefero tries to reach up and touch Amicus's face, and each time the wolf bats it away, or pins the paw down. Amicus seems irritated almost, like he's more annoyed about the situation than anything else. Nefero is practically the opposite, somehow maintaining that trademark smirk of his while this is all going down. And then, of all the moments for me to walk in on their little session, they seem to reach their peak. Nefero lets out a series of short moans, a strange sound coming from someone as refined and reserved as he is. I can see the results as it splatters against his torso and muscle, his hips jerking frantically as his face morphs into a look of strained pleasure. Meanwhile, Amicus's moan is long and deep as he thrusts harder into the jackal, freezing up before practically melting over the other canine. His expression is a lot more goofy. And despite myself, I find myself thinking that this is exactly how I'd imagine his orgasm face. I just sort of take this all in, still trying to understand what the hell is going on. I mean, I know what's going on, but I don't know why. There's a certain amount of horror that goes with my reaction, as if I just walked in on my parents doing it. I guess I'm at least glad that I'm seeing it at this angle, which means I can't see what's going on under Nefero's hips.
I realize then that I need to get the hell out before they see me.
As they both gasp in their sticky mess, I slowly start to back out, but that's when the door automatically closes behind me.
Now that things are quiet, nothing covers up that sound, and Nefero and Amicus look up at me as one. Oh.
I stand there, feeling as if I'm in a dream, as they both stare at me. I must look like an idiot, my robe dirty from the gardens, flowers dangling from my right hand, my mouth hanging open in fascinated horror. Amicus looks most shocked of all, though, and I can see a million thoughts running through his head, clearly not having wanted me to see this. His reasons for sending me and Alex out to do menial yard work is very clear now. Nefero, for his part, isn't wearing his usual suave smirk. Instead, it's surprised, and maybe even a little guilty, like not even he wanted me to see this. I open my mouth. But then any will to smooth over the situation somehow, make a joke of it even, leaves me. With both their eyes on me, I turn and almost run into the door, having to drop the flowers on the ground to press the panel. Somehow, I feel even worse than I had when I had left the throne room in disgrace after the dance. The door slides open, and the next thing I know, I'm jogging out into the hall. As I do, I hear Amicus struggling for words.
Marco, wait!
There's some rustling sounds, followed by a yelp from Nefero before the door slides shut, and the only sounds are my echoing footsteps. I'm not sure where I'm going. I just know that I need to get as far as I can from that situation. What I just saw is only now sinking in, and so is the hurt. What the fuck? That fucking wolf tells me he's in love with me? Or at least interested in me? And the next thing I know, he's fucking that jackal? What the fuck? I guess I'm more angry than hurt. I must have looked like such an idiot standing there while one of them was getting railed. Ugh, and to walk in on that moment. Nefero had been so clearly into it, and Amicus looked so mean and aggressive. The whole thing was just awful. Well, awful to walk in on unexpectedly. In another context. My vision blurs for a moment, but I refuse to let myself cry over something that wasn't even going to be serious. I was going to offer Amicus that stupid fling, and that was it. He wasn't obligated to have eyes only for me. In fact, I knew he was into Neferu. We'd already discussed it. So, this is fine. This was expected. Actually, I wasn't even expecting anything. No, the reason I'm so embarrassed and feel like shit right now is because I walked in on 2 alien dogs butt-fucking. That was weird and messed up, and I just need to collect my thoughts for a moment. That's when I realized that I don't really know where I am in the palace. Most of the hallways look the same, and this one is no exception, though I know I'm deeper in than I've ever been before.
Marco!
Amicus's footsteps pound against the floor behind me. I don't know how far away he is, considering the echoing halls can be deceptive, but I immediately take a right through a particularly large set of double doors. The room I walk into is full of smells, good ones, like a garden. The air is cool and fresh, even as afternoon light pours in from an opening in the ceiling. All the while, there's the sound of a soft trickling of water from a small fountain in the center of the room. I stand there for a moment, eyes scanning for anyone else that might be here. When I don't see anyone, I move closer to the center of the room, looking around at the flowers and plants as I try to calm my hammering heart. I know Amicus is probably going to find me soon. All he has to do is ask calm. So, I fold my arms, trying to look casual, realizing now that it would have just been better for me to hang out in the hall. Maybe laugh when Amicus came out. I'd have made a joke and acted like it wasn't a big deal, but it's way too late for that now. Sure enough, the door slides open, and Amicus stumbles in his underwear, his fur completely messed up, chest heaving for breath.
Marco, I need to talk about...
He doubles over, paws on his knees as he gasps in his air. I cringe as I see my flowers clutched in one of his paws. But I still try to look casual, keeping my arms folded. What?
About what you just saw.
Don't worry about it. I shrug before busying myself with brushing off my robes so they don't look so dirty.
No, I want to explain what happened.
You don't need to explain it. It's none of my business.
Well, it is.
It's definitely not! I snap at the wolf. Who you fuck is none of my business. That's all up to you. Don't let me tell you who you can and can't be with. Amicus frowns deeply at me.
What?
You heard me. I don't want to hear about it. I'm not here for this shit anyway.
Here for what?
I throw my hands up in frustration. What just happened? For sex or love or whatever the hell it is you guys do. Whatever it is you told me you wanted on the island. I point at the flowers in his paw. I'm just trying to get home. I feel my eyes threatening to water up again, and I stubbornly swallow that down right quick.
No, that's not what that was. Please let me explain.
I shake my head. You guys have sex. It's not a big deal. I get it. Humans can be like that too. Amicus takes a step forward, but I take one back. I guess it's just a little fucked up that you confessed your feelings 2 days ago, and then suddenly you're just fucking another guy. This is all so ridiculous. Not only the situation I'm in, but the fact that I feel so hurt by the wolf, even though nothing has really happened between us except an alcohol-fueled kiss. Amicus takes another step forward, his paws up, staring wide-eyed at me.
That's not what happened, and if you'll let me explain...
Then what did I just see?
What you saw, it was more of a transaction than anything.
What, of cum? Amicus chokes in surprise.
Well, yes, I guess, but I made a deal with the Chameleon.
What deal?
Well, I'm sure you remember our problems with Cassius?
About him wanting to murder me?
Yes, that problem.
What about it?
Well, I did say it wasn't something you should worry about, but like I also said, I'm taking all precautions.
Yeah?
Yes, so
The wolf pauses. What?
I realize now that I should have consulted you on this, but it was my only immediate option.
What option?
Well, while Cassius might be willing to execute my pet, he wouldn't dare touch the pet of a Chameleon.
What? The wolf rubs behind his neck with one paw and speaks very quickly.
If I were to lose the second trial, I made it so that your ownership would transfer to Neferu. You'd become his pet.
I stare at the wolf.
This would ensure that Cassius would not dare come after you. If he did, it might upset the very delicate relations we have with the Chameleons.
A moment of silence passes. So, I'd become Neferu's pet.
If I somehow lose the trial, yes.
I stare at the wolf.
Are you okay with that?
Amicus?
Again, with him doing things without even telling me. No conversation, no warning, no consideration. After all this time, he still doesn't see me as an equal.
Amicus sees my expression change and quickly jumps in again.
It's the best alternative, mainly because the Chameleons likely use their own stretch. Neferu would be able to get you home if he had to.
So, to pay him...
He wanted sex and only seemed interested in that, yes. Trust me, I took no emotional pleasure in it.
I'm quiet.
Don't worry, though. I made sure the contract we agreed to ensures that you will not have to be involved in anything like that. In fact, you'd almost be treated like a pharaoh.
Amicus grins proudly. I stare at the wolf for a while, suddenly feeling numb.
Are you feeling better?
His voice takes on a serious tone as he reaches out and pushes a thumb pad across my cheek. The action is intimate, and I turn my head away. We stand awkwardly for a moment. Then Amicus holds up the flowers.
You dropped these.
I shake my head. They were for you. Amicus winces.
I thought so. Were you going to ask me?
I feel my face getting hot. Yeah, but now I'm suddenly enveloped in a very tight hug.
Gods, that was the absolute worst moment for you to walk in. I'm sorry.
I stand there, limp, just letting the wolf hug me. Finally, Amicus steps back, holding the slightly wilted flowers as he stares at them.
I hope after that, you're still considering?
I sigh and shake my head, to which Amicus's ears fall.
I'm just a stupid primate to you, aren't I?
What?
I told you before to just talk to me if you're planning something that involves me. Why couldn't you have at least given me a warning? Especially for something like this!
You what?
It was sudden, and I thought the idea might hurt you after what happened on the island.
No shit! So you went behind my back? I know sometimes you don't... well, you don't even think, but you knew this would hurt.
No, I've been so busy. Not to mention negotiating these things is complicated. I'm just trying to do what's best for you.
Without really thinking about me, or how I might feel about any of this.
I'm always thinking about you, every damn hour of the day, and this is on top of the trials. Believe it or not, Marco, I'm stretched a bit thin, and it would be helpful if you could work with me.
Work with you how? Let you manipulate me into becoming your boyfriend, then watch you fuck another guy so I can become his slave instead? I've been pretending, but now it could actually become official! I can't stop the words from spilling out of my mouth, wanting to hurt the wolf just as much as he hurt me.
Manipulate?
The wolf stares at me. Then Amicus's hackles rise, but instead of instilling any sort of fear in me like it normally would, I feel satisfaction.
Marco, I will not have you accusing me of such a thing. I was more honest with you on the island than I have been with anyone in years.
But not about what just happened with Neferu.
What, you think I owe you celibacy? We're not dating, and you refuse to do anything with me! It may come as a surprise to you, but even in times like these, I have needs!
So you did want it. Amicus looks about ready to explode, and for a moment, he just stands there in silence, practically shaking. He opens his mouth, and instead of the shouting I expect, it's almost a whisper. I may not know how these things work on Earth, but you know how they work on Adastra. You said yourself that these matters are casual. What happened with the jackal means nothing to me. You mean so much to me, which is why I did it to keep you safe. I shake my head. While seeing what happened in the bedroom hurt, it's really only the tip of the iceberg with what's wrong with all of this. If you actually cared about me, you'd care about what I want. You keep telling me how smart I am, but here we are again with you doing stuff without any of my input because you think I'm too stupid to understand.
No!
You know, you wolves are all the same. We're all just stupid barbarians to you. You don't treat me as an equal, you look down on me. And why the fuck would I want to be with someone like that?
That is not even.
Just win your stupid trial and send me home. If you don't, just blast my stupid ape ass off into space. I don't want to be here anymore. I turn, heading for the door.
Wait, please!
Whatever he was going to say suddenly cuts off as I hear a loud thud.
Ah!
I don't look back to see what he kicked or punched. Instead, I head out into the hall, not sure at all of where I'm going. I just know that I hate everything about what just happened. For a while, I just wander. I end up pacing the halls of the palace before going outside to sit in the gardens. I don't see anyone. It's weirdly calm outside, especially considering that the Emperor could be decided tomorrow. I wonder how things are in the city, in the rest of the Empire. I look out toward the faint city skyline, glinting gently in the afternoon light. Amicus doesn't come after me. Should he? I'd said such horrible things to him. But even now, I feel like I had to say them. I'm tired of being treated like an actual pet, and now that I might actually become one. Still, I kind of wish he did come after me again. I do believe that he was only trying to protect me, that he thought what he was doing was the only way to do that. But after everything on the beach, after I've already told him to just keep me in the loop, honestly, if he'd asked me about it first, even just told me about it, I'd probably have been okay with it. Sure, maybe a little jealous, but okay. I realize that a lot of this anger is because I just feel betrayed. And I feel that way because I really, really like Amicus. I'd expected him to treat me better after everything. The late afternoon heat is making me sweat, but instead of going inside, I just move under some shade. After a while, I lay back on the bench I'm sitting on, drifting off to sleep. When I wake up, it takes me a while to realize where I am. I stare at the flowers and leaves, gently lit up by the garden lights, until I remember that I'd fallen asleep there. Groggily, I call out for Calm, and according to him, I've only been out for about 2 hours. But the sun here always moves fast across the sky. I brush a few leaves off my robes as I get up and walk toward the palace, realizing at this point that I can't exactly avoid going back to Amicus's room forever. At least it'll force us to talk about things after we've cooled down. At least, I hope he's cooled down. My pace starts to slow as I get closer to his bedroom, unsure what to say after everything that happened. I decide I'm going to apologize, but also expect an apology from him as well. We both made mistakes, but we could get past this if we talked it out. Dinner is still sitting next to the door on its cart, untouched. I pause, my hand hovering over the panel, remembering what I saw the last time I opened this door. Shuddering, I steel myself and press it. The room's empty. No wolf in sight. Cold air creeps out of the room, chilling my bare calves as I continue to stand in the hallway. I realized then that I was holding in my breath, and I let it out slowly. I look up and down the hall in case I might see Amicus, but, as always, it's empty. With a soft sigh, I slowly walk in toward the bed before changing directions to sit on the sofa instead. Comet told me that it was the 18th hour, which means Amicus should be getting ready for bed by now, a schedule he follows almost religiously. Maybe he's getting ready for the trial somehow? That would be good, but I'm also getting the uncomfortable feeling that he's just avoiding me. That would be bad, because despite what happened, he shouldn't be thinking at all about me. He could be the Emperor tomorrow. So I sit there, hugging a pillow, waiting. After a while, I grab the food from the hallway and manage to eat a little bit. I wonder if I should save some for Amicus, but decide that he'd be able to get his own food from the kitchens instead of these cold leftovers if he ends up returning. So, I send the rest back with the drones and continue waiting. After a few more hours, Amicus still doesn't come back, and I end up laying down on the sofa, waiting to fall asleep. The sound of the door opening jolts me awake, and I quickly sit up, turning to look. Amicus! I stare at the jackal for a moment, feeling a sudden surge of anger in my chest. Hello, Marco. Are you not coming to the trial? I look around. What time is it? The 7th hour, which means the trial starts in less than an hour. Where's Amicus? Preparing for the trial. He hasn't been back all night. He was meditating most of the night. All night? Indeed. I frown at the jackal. What do you want? Neferu walks further into the room, slowly, before stopping in the middle, a good 15 feet away. To escort you to the trial, if you'd like. And to also talk. About what? I've already told you that you don't need to play stupid with me, Marco. I sit up straight, turning to face the jackal more directly. I'm not. I'm just wondering why the fuck you have the nerve to show up here after taking advantage of Amicus like that. What? I don't think I've ever seen Neferu caught off guard, so the sight is kind of funny. I smirk. Well, that's certainly a way to look at it. What other way is there to look at it? Plenty, if you'll let me explain. I sit back on the sofa, crossing my arms. Amicus already explained. I become your pet to protect me from Cassius, and in exchange for that, you made him fuck you in the ass. Again, the jackal looks shocked. Then he laughs, the sound high and soft. Oh dear, there are many ways to look at this, aren't there? His suddenly cheerful mood irritates me. Listen, I honestly don't want any part of this. Yes, but you are already a part of it, whether you want to be or not, so please, allow me to explain some things. I don't say anything, keeping my arms folded, my expression bored. The jackal seems to take that as his cue to continue. Amicus approached me about this deal a week ago, shortly after the incident with Cassius. It seemed simple enough, and I had to agree with him. Your position in this power struggle is becoming ever more precarious. I raise an eyebrow. How so? The rumors about Cassius's intent to disband the triumvirates have saturated the trial, even though Cato has banned all discussion of it. Word is that Cassius has realized who might have started the rumors. Neferu looks pointedly at me, though I try to keep my expression neutral. This has implications for you, obviously, but not only because you possibly sabotaged his chances at the throne. I feel my stomach turn a little, realizing I've gotten myself into way more than I'd ever intended. This also brings into question your intelligence. Far too intelligent for a simian, wouldn't you say? I open my mouth, but Neferu goes on. Now, with all of this considered, it was only natural for Amicus to come to me for help. Your life is in danger, Marco, no matter the facade these peaceful palace halls might project. I stare at the jackal, surprised at how candid he's being with me. He asked me what I wanted most, and I answered truthfully. An alliance with the wolves of Amicus were to become emperor. Of course, he declined outright, as he should have as the prospective emperor. How could he promise something so important with so many implications, all over one pet. So, knowing that was impossible, I offered something a bit more selfish on my part. Copulation with the handsome son of a Wolven Emperor. To this, he only needed a few moments to agree. I grimace. But I want you to understand something, Marco. If Amicus had found even that disagreeable, I would have simply asked for nothing. It is the duty of all Chemians to protect any sapient fleeing Wolven violence, whether they be sibling, child, or abandoned. Pet ownership is illegal where I'm from, and the idea is quite disgusting. Don't you agree? Neferu glances at me. But wolves love their contracts, and no matter how different Amicus might wish himself to be, he is still a wolf. He despises the idea that he might owe something to a Chemian. And his quickness to accept the deal showed me that despite how much he wanted to not want to, fuck me, as you put it, there was a part of him that did. In the end, he was willing. I look away, frowning. And I think this is something that has caused a rift between the two of you. You must understand that sex is casual here. It means nothing more than indulging in our corporeal desires. It's one of the few cultural similarities we share with the wolves. I've been told that Simians are more similar to cats and that such things hold much more meaning. But you are no longer on Samia, and must understand that things are different here. Even if he wants to, which I believe he does, Amicus can't change his philosophy over the course of a single week. I finally find room to speak. You're acting like we're in a relationship or something. You aren't, but you want to be. Amicus loves you. It's clear as Vita, as they say here. I feel that little thrill in my chest, and my face blushes furiously. Neferu goes on like he didn't actually just say that, though. So, yes, if you don't like the idea of Amicus fucking another man, then claim him as your own man. I frown. Claim? I'm going by Wolven terms here. I'm sure you have your own. Did Neferu just ask me to ask Amicus out? Now, does that clear things up for you? Even though I just woke up, I'm already feeling exhausted. I guess. There was a little more to it than that, though. Which I'm sure can be settled in the future. Civil discussions can do wonders. Now, we really must be getting to the trial, if you're wanting to go. Neferu raises an eyebrow at me. I find myself shaking my head, but not to deny the jackal his request. Rather, it's because I don't know what the hell this guy's up to. I get up, and Neferu offers his arm to me, which I stare at. Shall I escort you? This is something I'd seen the jackal do multiple times to Virginia and Alex. For some reason, he seemed to really just enjoy escorting people around. After his little lecture, I can tell that he's trying to smooth things over between me and Amicus. So, reluctantly, I reach out and take his arm in both hands, if only to please him. And pleased he seems to be, a tugging at the corner of his muzzle making me think he's trying not to smile too much. As he guides me out the door, I find myself feeling out the fur on his arm. It's much more silky and smooth compared to Amicus, not quite as fluffy. It's not as nice as Amicus's coat, but it does feel nice in a different way.
There's a lot of muscle there, too. And I wonder if the jackal works out in the amphitheater. Though I've never seen him there.
I guess I can see why so many people are into this guy, if muscles are your thing. As we continue through the halls, I notice we're taking a different route than the one to the throne room. Where are we going? To meet the star of the most asinine entertainment show in the galaxy. What better way to determine the fate of all things, siblings and parents alike, than through meaningless wolven spectacle? What? Neferu pauses in front of a door, gently pulling away from me while his paw is held delicately up to the panel. What I'm saying is that quite a bit is depending on your wolf right now, and he might need some encouragement. I'm still staring at the jackal when he finally presses the panel, opening the door. When I look back, I find myself looking into a much smaller room, simple and bare, just a bed and a dresser. The air is thick, with the calming smell of incense as it creeps into the hallway and washes over me in a warm wave. And there, sitting on the bed, is Amicus. Before I can look back at Neferu, the wolf suddenly looks up. We both stare at each other for a moment. Then the wolf is suddenly on his feet, stumbling toward me. He stops himself halfway across the room, though, paws clasped in front of himself. I've never seen him so disheveled before. His fur is stuck up all over his neck and shoulders. His cape is askew. His eyes are red and bleary. Before I know it, I'm walking into the room toward the wolf. Are you okay? Amicus tries to smooth his fur down, but it sticks right back up.
I'm fine. I was just meditating.
You look awful. Isn't the trial in less than an hour?
Yes.
There's a moment of silence that goes by as I just stare at the wolf. Are you going then? You should get ready.
Marco.
I stop, waiting. The pause is long, and when Amicus finally speaks, his voice is so quiet I can barely hear it.
I don't think I was meant for this.
My heart sinks. Meant for what?
Everything in this damned empire. I've done absolutely nothing right. Everything has been handed to me on a platter my entire life, but the first time I actually have to fight for something. I know you don't think I took this seriously, but I did. I tried. I wasn't prepared, and you were right.
I see a little wetness around his eyes, but he aggressively wipes at them with an arm. While weeks ago I might have welcomed this epiphany, this is the absolute worst moment for it.
I couldn't even keep my best friend. I would have been a terrible emperor.
It takes me a moment to realize that he's talking about me. Amicus.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't tell you everything. That I treated you poorly. That I got you into this stupid mess in the first place. And that I can't get you out of it.
The wolf's voice catches on that last part, and I wonder with some astonishment if I'm actually going to see him cry. But he manages to hold it together, looking down at the floor.
I just wanted to do what was best for you, but I wasn't thinking of you while I did it. I was inconsiderate, and I'm sorry.
Amicus stands there quietly, apparently finished. I don't know if this is more about me, or about him feeling inadequate for the emperorship. I have no doubt that our little fight yesterday caused it, though. Seeing the wolf like this, it hurts. But it also makes me kind of angry. This isn't the Amicus I know. I reach up, setting a hand on his shoulder, and he suddenly looks up at me. You're less than an hour away from becoming the Emperor. You need to act like it.
What?
You think your dad would have acted like this when he wasn't sure of himself? Your grandfather? Drusus? There's a time and place, and now is not the time. I don't know if they would have, but I'm grasping at straws at this point. And honestly, this is about a lot more than you, or me, or anyone here. This is about the lives of millions of sapients, about your entire empire. You think it all deserves to go to shit because suddenly you're not really sure of yourself? You are such a good person, basically the opposite of what this society is, and you want to put that into your rule. That's amazing. But now you're suddenly willing to give up? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, you made a bunch of mistakes, but that doesn't matter now. What matters is that you make sure that piece of shit brother of yours doesn't take the throne. So you better get your ass out there and beat the hell out of him in this stupid debate. I'm not sure what else to say, so I stop, breathing hard. After a moment, I realize the wolf is smiling at me, and it takes me a moment to calm down from my Hollywood movie pep talk. What?
I am going to go out there, Marco. There's no doubt about that. I was just having a moment. I was trying to be more honest with you, but thank you.
I frown. Well, you sure picked a hell of a moment to have it.
I know. I've just been having a terrible time after yesterday is all. I needed to apologize to you.
I deflate a little, but there's some relief there too, seeing Amicus somewhat back to his old self. Well, I forgive you, but this is a lot bigger than us right now.
I know it is. And what I'm feeling is a lot bigger than us as well.
The wolf sets a paw on my shoulder.
But I'm honest about what I said. I'm sorry, and I will never do anything involving you without your consultation again. And I will take your cultural differences into better consideration in the future.
I look up at Amicus, at his earnest face, and I find myself hugging him. And he hugs back tightly. We still need to talk about things, but we can do that later. You need to kick Cassius's ass first.
I know,
Amicus pulls back, both paws on my shoulders now.
and I will.
There's a gentle clearing of a throat behind us, and we both look back to see Neferu casually lounging in the doorway. If you're finished, the trial begins in 30 minutes. Immediately, Amicus scowls at the sight of the jackal, but he nods.
I'd better be going then.
So, you're feeling better now?
Much better, thanks to you.
I smile as I feel a wave of relief, even though this is just like Amicus to be so easily cheered up. I allow the wolf to pull me toward the door. Neferu moves out of the way as we exit the stifling meditation room.
All right, I'm on my way to a shower.
I'll be watching. The rhetoric thing, I mean.
I'll look for you, and we'll talk after this?
Yeah, we'll talk after your emperor.
All right.
Amicus leans in to kiss me on the lips, then pauses before planting it on my cheek instead. With that, he winks, then turns and dashes up the hall, running at a full sprint. I hear a soft chuckle behind me. Well, that went rather well. I didn't think that would be half as easy. I glance back at the jackal, as he basically reveals he's been planning this all along. I guess it was obvious. Shall we head to the throne room? They'll be wanting us sitting down early so they can film us. The whole thing is a dreary spectacle, after all. All right. With that, I follow the jackal toward the throne room, hoping that what I'd said to Amicus is enough to get him in the right headspace to help him win. In just a few hours, I'll know if I'll be leaving soon, or staying for a long, long time. Either way, I'm just glad that this happened.